got a high-speed chase. Let's go.
Free socks.
In a neon glow, watching the circus, the endless show. Low smooth, they don't even know. Welcome to the troll farm, baby, where the truth gets twisted, hazy. Living large, big large, so crazy. Welcome to the troll farm, baby. Red tuber script in the digital maze. For my cons light fires, set the blaze. Every clip's $1, every live pays. Lie hard, drive cars, love scars. The internet's got its own bizarre stars. Welcome to the troll farm, baby, where the truth gets twisted, hazy. Living large, big lost, so crazy. Welcome to the troll farm, baby. Red tuber script in the digital maze. Former cons light fires, set the blaze. Every clip's $1, every live pays. Lie hard, drive cars, live stars. The internet's got its own bizarre stars. Welcome to the troll farm, baby, where the truth gets twisted, hazy. Living large, big large, so crazy. Welcome to the troll farm, baby. Fake it till you make it, break it till it's gone. Chasing shadows, playing the pawns. The watchers are watched, the game goes on.
What's up, everybody? Welcome in. What is up, everybody? There is a high-speed chase going on as we speak. I am going to get the share screen window because I have not done that yet. I apologize. But let's do this. This is from Live Police Chases. And let's get going. It's already in pursuit. We are
right now, but this was wanted for speed. That was the initial reason why CHP lit the vehicle up. As I double in, you can see they've got the top down. It's a nice night in Southern California. There's just one person that is in this vehicle right now, and they're even signaling, which is kind of strange. They made a signal when they park area. Juan, Mike, and Susan.
You know, it's not often we see a top down during a pursuit. Sure. It's usually tinted windows. You can't see in the car.
Right.
We're getting a look right into the car. This driver just keeps on driving, as Des was saying, Suze. Look, 61 miles an hour.
And Desmond, it looks like he is the only person inside the car, right?
Yep, only person, obviously only a two-seater, but I'm not sure if this is the performance model of a Corvette. I mean, even a base model Corvette is a pretty powerful vehicle in its own right. So regardless, we're talking about, you know, high horsepower, big V8 engine, a lot of straight line speed, not necessarily known for their handling as much as their speed, but definitely capable, and that's what's kind of interesting on this one, because a lot of times when we've seen other performance vehicles before involved in a pursuit, they tend to use all of that horsepower, and it sounds like maybe the suspect was earlier, but we haven't seen the speeds get really very much above the speed limit. I mean, 60
I do have a
their
command
speed, but
for this.
definitely capable, and that's what's kind of interesting on this one, because a lot of times when we've seen other performance vehicles before involved in a pursuit, they tend to use all of that horsepower, and it sounds like maybe the suspect was earlier, but we haven't seen the speeds get really very much above the speed limit. I mean, 67 miles an hour, basically at the speed limit right now, give or take a little bit. But CHP, regardless, even though he's slowed down, you know, they want to pull this person over, and so far they're not obliging.
And you know, Mike, something I noticed when Desmond pulled in a little closer, it either looks like They're paper plates or no
Yeah.
plates
I'll
at all
keep
in the
this
back
as
of
a
his car.
command.
Yeah,
for
that
the
looks like
future,
paper
though.
plates to me, dealer plates. You can see them kind of flapping in the wind there. It depends on how close CHP was able to
Yeah,
get to
this
the car,
looks
if they
like
were
a
able to read them or
brand new
not.
Corvette.
Paper plates in California are not like they used to be. They
Paper
now will give
plates.
you the full details of the registered owner. If you remember, it used to be you would get kind of one that the dealer would just write.
temporary
Yeah,
plate,
they'd
yeah.
write the
I
date
didn't mean
on it
to
of when it
drag
expires,
anyone
but
from
that's
where
no
they
longer the
were
case.
and
Paper
what they
plates in
were
California, and we
watching,
can even
but
run them here,
I like
will
this
actually
exciting
reveal the
stuff.
true registered owner of the car. So as
And
long as they were
hopefully
able to
this
read it, that you
channel
see right now as Desmond's looking at it,
ding
it's
me.
kind of flapping up and down
Yeah.
there
Backed
in the
up
wind.
on
But if they were ever
quite a
able to get
ways.
a good read on it, they can figure out who the registered owner is, and then go backwards from there and figure out what this person's deal may
Probably
be, if
shouldn't
they've
speed
got
up too
warrants or
much.
what their situation
Yeah, and
is
it just
here.
makes you wonder, Mike, as you were saying, what else are they running from? If this
Right.
is just a want for speed, then pull over and call it a speeding ticket and call it a night.
Yeah, and it's a new car. Maybe they got a little overzealous and
Yeah.
wanted to take it out for a spin, see what they could get out of it. But that certainly is not going to end well for them. Eventually, they'll be caught, and it'll be felony evading. And if CHP has to use some tactics like a pit maneuver or some spike strips on a brand new car like that, that's not going to bode well for that car, unfortunately, if that's what the case may be. And I want to point out, while we do have the LA County Sheriff's helicopter overhead, there's also a CHP fixed wing overhead that has been tracking this from the air as well, helping out those units as we're westbound on the 91 now into the LA County area in the Cerritos, city of Cerritos.
And Mike, it's a new car. It's a flashy car, not one that you could easily just get away and
Yeah.
blend into traffic
Right.
when you're a bright yellow Stingray Corvette.
Yeah, even in the dark,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, even in the dark. I mean, yeah, and to your point, it's a very noticeable car. This isn't a white Honda. This is a a car that's definitely going
My
to be
green
recognized
screen doesn't like me
by
this
law
evening.
enforcement. And depending on where they're from or where the CHP picked it up at, even if they choose to let it go, this may be something that they'll come back for later. Because again, the evading law enforcement here is a felony, and so whatever the speed was before, even if it was a
That's
felony
crazy,
speed,
just a
now you're adding a
speeding
second
thing.
felony.
Yeah, let's go back upstairs now to
Just a
Desmond
speeding
Shaw live
violation.
in SkyCal. Desmond, we're now in the Norwalk area.
Yep, we are officially out of Orange County and into LA County, so probably going to see a different CHP
Out of
office come
Orange
and
County
take this
into
one
LA
over. There was
County.
2 different Orange County offices that have been pursuing in this one. Just kind of been listening to some of the coordination on that one, and maybe we'll see an LA County Sheriff's helicopter come in on this one. Kind of probably just depends on the fuel situation of that other helicopter up there, or if they have something else that they need to respond to back in OC. But as we zoom in, I mean, yeah, this is certainly people of a certain age's dream car. Definitely an enthusiast spec
I got the green
vehicle
screen
here that
better.
is involved
Better.
in this pursuit. But we're just kind of cruising along, almost like just in denial that CHP is behind them, and they got the top down. Maybe they've got the music going. A pretty nice evening out here. And I mean, we're actually in the fast lane, and very ironic in
commentator's making
a car that not
excuses
only can
now.
go fast but looks fast with its color being yellow. Look, we're only going between 55
You
and
guys hear it
65
all right?
miles an
Am
hour.
I too
So
loud?
it's just very, very strange all the way around. And yeah, I mean, to your point, I mean, what are you risking all of this over? A speeding ticket, if there's something else in the vehicle, or what else is going on with the driver, if it could be any number of things, if they have a rap sheet or under the influence or what, it's certainly not clear at this point as we see the spotlight coming up overhead, and
What's he
the
doing?
suspect just
Waving.
He's waving at the spotlight. Yeah, this is actually I think the first time that we've seen the spotlight overhead, and
I
it
didn't
just
realize
almost
the
kind of seems
top
like
was
he's
down.
taunting the authorities on this, and sometimes we see this as well with these suspects that just kind of want to drag this out. Well, now, right after I said that, he sped up to about 100 and then right back down. So
Yeah, he's
it
been
just kind
going
of
up
seems
and
like,
down
like the
with
taunting
speed.
game here that the suspect is playing with law enforcement at the moment.
Yeah, it makes you wonder where this person is
going
going to
about
end
70
up, right?
miles
Just
per
starting
hour
down
right
in
now.
Orange County. Are they from Orange County? Is this car out of Orange County? We're not sure yet. We believe that the CHP at some point will talk to the registered owner of this vehicle. If it is not this person, we don't know if that's clear or
Paper
not.
plate
But at
just
this
flapping
point,
in the
we're
wind.
not sure if this is. We don't have it as a stolen vehicle,
Right.
but we don't know at this point. It could be, we don't know. And the want is for speed, and as we've been talking about, this person has been going fast and then slowing down, fast, slowing
That was
down,
close.
driving a little erratically there, and for the most part has been staying under the speed limit. I mean, as freeway speeds, as you call it in Southern California, right? Standards, but it doesn't look like they're speeding as the want
And he
was
did
earlier.
use
What's
Mike,
up,
the
Lee?
left
How
turn
you
signal
doing?
to get into the
Yeah.
carpool lane for a second to get around a slower moving car.
He did. He is starting to get kind of that agitated feel that we see from pursuit drivers from time to time.
Picking up speed. Look at
And
this.
yeah, now we're back
I didn't
over
even hear him say
120, and then all of a
spotlight.
sudden we're going to slam on the brakes and drop it back down to like 60 or 70. But you know, you're starting to see some of that. This erratic speeding up and stopping. His hands are all over the place. He's waving hand gestures out, waving at the cops. Looked like he was wagging his finger at them at one point. So you were starting to see, and there he's doing it again. We're starting to see this
Wagging
kind of
his finger.
agitated behavior from this guy, which always makes you concerned because anytime you have a person that is in such a capable car that can go so fast, and when they begin to start acting erratic,
what's up, Sammy?
that is, of course, when things can go terribly wrong and gets people concerned. So we'll
so
see. I mean,
sorry
they're
I
making
didn't
some
text
progress here,
you.
especially as we
You forgot
push
to give
through
me
on
your
the westbound
numbers,
91
Sammy.
freeway into almost the Bellflower area now, or past Bellflower, north of Long Beach, and into Paramount. So they're chasing him. He's going to have to make a decision. The 91 will end, I mean, in Gardena.
That's for sure, Sammy.
So we'll have to make a
Canceled
decision at some
ASAP.
point. But CHP
No
keeping
insurance
up right
for this
behind him,
guy.
that light from the LA County Sheriff's helicopter. And then there's still a CHP fixed wing that is overhead as well.
And the LA County Sheriff's helicopter, how did they get involved, Mike? If this is found in
Well,
Orange
that's what
County?
was interesting to us because the LA County Sheriff's helicopter was like, ooh, dibs, even when they were still like in Anaheim. So I think what happened was the CHP was notifying the LA CHP office. Orange County CHP was notifying LA CHP. LA CHP may have said, hey, do we have any airships that are available? And so then LA Sheriff, came down and got involved. But they got involved
couple
prior to
helicopters
it
and a
being
fixed
even
wing
in
in the air,
LA County. So they were there to lend that hand. And then, like I said, the CHP fixed wing got overhead. CHP fixed wing's great. They can keep a good eye. They don't have to worry about some of the flight restrictions because they're so high up. I think right now they're up at like 5,300 feet.
Like
so they're pretty high up. But you don't get that light from them. That's what we're getting from the Sheriff's helicopter.
All right, well, we're just following this as they go fast and slow, now down to 47 miles per hour
will
about on the
probably be
freeway
going
when we've
back and
seen them
forth
really
with
pick
this,
it up, go
folks.
over 100 miles per hour on the freeway.
There he is again.
Or the
Goes
pit maneuver
again,
could work on these types of streets if they're going slow enough.
I
don't know with a convertible, though. I don't know if that's a factor.
Yeah, so if
We're
they
gonna
don't
go
choose
back
to
and forth,
maybe
folks.
take a different freeway, this could end up on surface streets again.
Yeah, and taking so much risk too, right?
In fact,
a nice
we'll
car
catch
like
up
this,
on
high
this
performance vehicle,
frame here.
it could get pitted, it could get hit with spike strips, which could damage the car and the alignment and who knows what. So again, as you were mentioning earlier, Susie, what is this person running from other than just high speeds?
Yeah, let's go back upstairs now. Desmond Shaw, live in
running
Sky
from
Cal. Desmond,
something.
what have you been noticing aside from this person picking up speed and then slowing back down?
Yeah, just that and the hand motions in the air. We've seen a little bit of erratic driving as he speeds up to get around traffic, kind of making some quick lane changes here. And this vehicle obviously very capable of that, very low center of gravity. But I mean, you can see just how quickly this vehicle can accelerate. I mean, if he really wants to,
What about
the truth is
60
that at
right
least from
now?
a raw power perspective, this vehicle is going to have an advantage
up,
over
Doodles?
whatever CHP has. But CHP's vehicles are no slouches either. Those Dodge Chargers, we've seen them go up to I've seen them go up to 150 miles an hour to keep pace with a motorcycle before. So they are definitely, if they want to get aggressive and they want to pursue this person, it is definitely within their capability to do that. And obviously, CHP drivers are going to be highly trained. We have, no idea of the capabilities of this suspect, if this is their first sports car or their fifth or what the deal is. But yeah, it's like I said, just kind of joyriding and frankly just kind of taunting law enforcement, trying to kind of annoy them. And we are, high horsepower vehicles also burn through that premium gasoline pretty quickly.
Again,
as
this
well.
is
Of course, we have no way of
this
knowing how much
frame
gasoline
here
tank,
is
but we have
spot on.
covered some substantial miles now at this point from southern Orange County, or at least from we think that the Santa Ana area. We know that they were south of Disneyland earlier when we were en route to go and pick this up. So we covered some ground, and when you're slamming on the gas pedal like that, open up the throttle, you are definitely guzzling more and more gasoline that way as well.
He's
So
going again on there.
another thing that
Whoa.
could factor in
Catch
with
up
this
to
suspect
that.
if this continues on is westbound 91, and we will be running out of freeway
This
here
is
pretty
gonna
soon.
get wild,
We're just
guys.
going to have to transition to either go to the north or south 110 or stick with this. We'll end onto Artesia Boulevard, and then that will, if that happens, will be the first time that we see the suspect on surface streets so far.
And what an unpredictable driver. We haven't seen any real patterns here other than slowing down and then speeding up, changing lanes here and there, nothing too out of the ordinary. So I'm guessing it's maybe even harder for police to plan when there is no sort of routine. Mike, what do you think about that?
Yeah, and it's also just difficult with the freeway speeds that they're dealing with and being able to conduct a spike strip. I mean, Des and I have talked about this before. It gets tough. I mean, we're not that late at night yet where the freeways are empty enough for them to really kind of be able to get that done. I also know that we kind of are in this area. We're getting kind of close to staying in the same spot, but we run through these problems with these. CHP is great because they can chase them forever, but we're rotating through offices so quickly that you have this constant swap out of these CHP officers that maybe are not able to kind of get into a position to do, kind of stop it. You're just swapping through offices. I mean, we've gone through, Buena Park, we've gone through Santa Fe Springs, we've gone through South LA, The further west, we're going to be into West LA. So they're doing this constant swapping of officers, which is needed and is the right thing to do. But it just kind of sometimes makes it a little bit more difficult for them to plan ahead and get those things done. It was interesting, though. I mean, and Des, actually wanted to ask you a question, too. Do you know how low to the ground these sit? Because we've dealt with pursuits before where we'll throw a spike, but the car actually sits so low to the ground and gets caught in the bumper instead of rolling up under the tire. Do you know how low this car sits?
I know better. I think it's just
I don't know exactly how low, and it would also depend on if this. It looks like it's stock suspension, so I don't think that it's a bit lower, but even at stock suspension is awfully low. I mean, just going to be a couple of inches of ground clearance on that. So that is kind of an interesting wrinkle, wondering if the bumper could end up kind of knocking the spike strip out of place, and maybe that would be a difficult thing for CHP to try to employ. It would be really fascinating to see if this vehicle got pitted as well, but I mean, I have a feeling that we're not going to see that just because this vehicle is so capable of accelerating away from CHP. If this person has any inkling that they might be coming in to do something like that, he barely even has to tap on the gas pedal, and you see how quickly these things can accelerate away. What I can tell you here is one of my enthusiast friends reminded me that this has at least 500 horsepower, 6.2 liter V8 engine. That is a really high displacement, which kind of comes back to what I was talking about the fuel economy. And so, if this does continue on, and the suspect didn't have more than maybe a half tank of gas, they could definitely run out of fuel because we're definitely going through quite a bit of it. The faster as we go. Actually, my pilot Dylan saying we've already probably traversed about 70 miles from where we believe this may have begun. So westbound 91 here, we are going to be coming off of the end here momentarily. Not too much longer before this turns into Artesia Boulevard. He's getting over to the right, though. Let's see. Might be making that transition to the 110 freeway, possibly.
So really quickly, too, because I want to bring this up. Charles texted the desk about this and had a question for us, and it's an interesting point I want to bring up to Des, too. This is I don't know that I haven't seen us chase a convertible in a long time. With the top down, we are wondering if they will be less likely to try a pit maneuver if that top is down. If, for God forbid, the car were to flip, there may not be as much, safety for that driver that a typical car would provide.
Even if he's wearing a seatbelt.
Yeah. Or and they don't know that he's wearing. So if he's not, he's going to go flying out of that car if they do a pit.
Do I need to do more body cam videos? Is that what you're saying?
Well, a lot of usually these convertibles they'll have kind of this system where they can detect if the vehicle is flipping over, and it kind of has these supports that will shoot out of the top to provide that driver with that protection, so that their head doesn't make contact with the ground as they're flipping out of control or something like that. A pretty sophisticated system on a lot of these convertible vehicles, but considering this might actually it's kind of
we got to get ahead.
It looks like a convertible hardtop. I think I'm not a Corvette expert per se.
We'll watch all of this though, guys. Don't worry.
I'm not positive that this vehicle is equipped with that. Vehicles that are like soft top convertibles, I'm pretty sure is considered like a modern safety feature that may even be mandatory. I'm not positive that it's mandatory on this vehicle, but yeah, it definitely crossed my mind as well. And CHP doesn't know that for sure, so that's another calculation. We could have trouble with a pit maneuver for multiple reasons, and we could also have issues with spike strips. So we did make that transition to the 110 southbound 110, now making our way towards the South Bay, another freeway that is going to end here as we're coming down to Torrance Boulevard. So we're past the 405. Now at this point, this will dump us out into either San Pedro or the Vincent Thomas Bridge if they stick with it all the way.
And whether they try them or not, pit maneuver or spike strips, being on surface streets will definitely give officers more options because of the lower speed than the freeways, that's for certain. And also because, are there other cars around, other people around? They have other things to weigh, of course, but they will look into that as speed slowed down. So, will this person be stopped and then stay on surface streets, or will they get back on, when officers perhaps do try some of those stopping techniques? We don't know. But again, this pursuit coming from South Orange County, we do believe it was somewhere in the Santa Ana area, and went on the 5 freeway and then hopped onto the 91. And here we are about to get off the 91. I'm sorry. And then we transitioned onto the 110. Thinking they might get off the 91 freeway, but it looks like they got on the 110, and they will continue to go now into, of course, at this end. This is the 110 south. So this end.
Looks like he's getting off here.
Yeah, and I was going to say this ends, of course, in San Pedro. So this is the first time we're actually seeing them exit the freeway in this pursuit. This is the Carson Street exit in Compton, we do believe. Desmond, this is the first time we're seeing them on surface streets.
Yes,
there was a time for a minute
when
body cam
what the suspect is going to do, because now we have a lot more danger in general.
They were fake.
As we've got red lights, we've got
and
cross traffic, we've got opposing
traffic. A few channels that copy each other.
Now I'm kind of wondering if this is where the suspect is going to decide to roll the dice to get away from the authorities here. So yeah, first time on surface streets. So far, we got up to about 50 miles an hour, but we'll see what the suspect decides to do here as they continue. But yeah, Carson Street, one of the busiest streets in the South Bay for sure. I mean, we're outside of rush hour now, so we're seeing a lot less traffic than we would have just a couple of hours ago. But yeah, there's still quite a few people out here, and we'll see how CHP decides how this is all going to affect their techniques as well. As that was close. The most aggressive maneuver we've seen. Yeah, so far, and you can see just how nimble these vehicles are. But yeah, speeding up, slowing down, speeding up, just kind of a cat and mouse game like we talk about, but maybe more like well, I was going to say
Doodles.
maybe cheated mouse.
Yeah, memberships drop, whole check go nuts. Blessing the syndicate, now we all powered up. Flood that
farther away from the freeway, so I'm guessing he's going to be staying on surface streets for a while now.
Well, and that's just now problematic because CHP is
let the frogs erupt. And then fast, don't stop, turn it up. Big love move, yeah, we see that play.
And Louise Levant 863 is just gifted membership. Thank you.
Looks like I was on the phone there for a second. Here we go.
Oh yeah, memberships drop, whole check go nuts. Blessing the syndicate, now we all powered up. Flood that chat, let the frogs erupt. And then fast, don't stop, turn it up. Big love move, yeah, we see that play. Whole squad eating, yeah, we
At Saul Goodman YT 420 was just gifted membership.
He does at the
Thank
moment,
you.
actually, but, yeah, he's
Like
chatting with
this.
the person in the lane control. They're probably one of us.
Oh yeah, memberships drop, whole check go nuts. Blessing the syndicate, now we all powered up. Flood that chat, let the frogs erupt. Airman fast, don't stop, turn it up. Big love move, yeah, we see that play. Whole squad eating, yeah, we celebrate. Lights go wild every time they drop.
At Incognito Loco was just gifted membership. Thank you.
Some of the South Bay agencies can.
Oh yeah, memberships drop, whole check go nuts. Blessing the syndicate, now we all powered up. Flood that chat, let the frogs erupt. Airman fast, don't stop, turn it up. Big love move, yeah, we see that play. Whole squad eating, yeah, we celebrate. Lights go wild every time they drop.
At Lilith Kane was just gifted membership. Thank you.
So, you know, they could, some of these South Bay agencies do a little bit
Oh yeah, memberships drop, whole check go nuts. Blessing the syndicate, now we all powered up. Flood that chat, let the frogs erupt. Airman fast, don't stop, turn it up. Big love move, yeah, we see that play. Whole squad eating, yeah, we celebrate. Lights go wild every time they drop.
At Bethany was just gifted membership.
So now we're
Thank
not seeing
you.
nights anymore either, and that's on purpose. They,
Oh yeah, memberships drop, whole check go nuts. Blessing the syndicate, now we all powered up. Flood that chat, let the frogs erupt. Airman fast, don't stop, turn it up. Big love move, yeah, we see that play. Whole squad eating, yeah, we celebrate. Lights go wild every time they drop.
At Oak C6 was just gifted membership. Thank you.
So you've got the sheriff
Thank you
helicopter that is
so
left, but you
much,
still have the
Doodles and
CHP helicopter,
Gray and
CHP fixed wing that
JD.
is
Thank you
overhead.
guys so much,
That
and
is,
welcome
monitoring this, and they're still
into
calling
the
out. And certainly there are
Trolligarchy,
still units in the area.
everybody.
Whether or not
Welcome.
South Bay agencies want to get involved in this, we're in the city of Torrance right now. We'll see, but I, excuse me, I doubt
So
it.
we've seen through all of the fireworks and everything that he stopped at the gas station and took back off.
Looks like a different agency.
We
there.
are only about
Torrance
11
PD
minutes
now behind this person.
behind.
You know, we talked about all the
11
different reasons
minutes
why
and
the CHP
26
might pull out of this,
seconds.
you know, and
Or so.
they have to weigh all these different risks. They have so much to think about
Take a
as they're
peek
chasing.
here.
Of course, the person
Okay.
making the decision
Still got him
is
in the car.
you know, talking to them at the same time, and so you know whatever they're getting, the instructions they're getting, that's what they're getting. And you know, usually it is, you know, if someone is driving erratically like this, they don't want to put the public in danger. This person could go faster, crash into another car.
Thank you guys so
passenger,
much.
You know,
You guys
someone
are
who's walking
awesome.
out there, you know, at this time of night. You know, who knows? And so they don't want to put that pressure behind this person by chasing them on the street as they pulled back. Now you see just a Torrance police officer, but they're not lighting this person
I
up.
have
Mike.
some more
No, they're not. And Torrance may be
emojis
waiting.
made.
You know, we
I
don't deal with
just
Torrance
got
police.
to
We don't deal with
get
pursuits in the
them.
South Bay very frequently. So I don't know. This single unit may not want to get involved in this without some backup. Oh, look, and there's one in front of them. So now you've got two Torrance police officers, one behind, one in front, and that made the suspect like, I don't really. And then there's a third back there too. So we're starting to get a flood of Torrance units here that are going to be ready to maybe try and stop this guy. I don't know if he's trying to be on his
So
best
the
behavior to
cruisers
hopefully
have
set a
their
cop and pull
lights
him over, or
off.
you know what the deal is. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, there's still that CHP airship overhead, the fixed wing
Probably
that's dealing with
because
this.
of
So
the
we'll
type
see what
of
Torrance's move
street
is if they
they're
want to
on.
take it and pull him over.
You know, Mike, going back to that fixed wing, the
chase.
helicopter left. How much harder is it for a fixed wing to keep eyes on a car? They can't really hover. They got to keep moving. So how does that work?
So they're much higher. They're at 5,600 feet right now, and it's actually easier because they have a really intense camera system on board. So they're okay. Torrance lit him up. Let's see what he does. So yeah, there he goes. He's taking off again. So now Torrance PD.
Whoa.
That almost looked like it could have been a pit maneuver,
Yeah.
but it was more of a U-turn.
So we'll see how long Torrance wants
Yeah,
to play this game. Go ahead, Des.
I was going to say, I mean, it could have almost been an opportunity, could have been a decent opportunity, but it just happened so quickly there. Not even sure if that's what Torrance was, you know, trying to go for right there. But you know, we were just saying, you know, some of these
Couldn't
agencies,
quite
they
tell
definitely
either.
can be on the more aggressive side, and so we are potentially seeing that now. We'll see how much Torrance is going to stick with this. Now, I mean, actually, look at right, and now as I widen out, they're not behind him anymore. So. You know, everyone's going to know that this person is in their jurisdiction, and it's a vehicle that's sticking out like a big yellow sore thumb. So pretty easy to keep tabs on from the air. But yeah, and Dylan let me know that the helicopter, the fixed wing is still up there. And you know, the other advantage here. Oh, are we stopping off to get some gas or some snacks? Let's see here. Coming to a stop. We'll see if we get to the other side. Actually,
under the awning.
Probably see it okay
He's
from right
backing
here.
up, Des.
But,
He's backing up.
yeah, backing up, and you know, hey, maybe
Okay,
he
parked.
realized that he needed some gas here. Let's see. I mean,
Unbelievable.
really audacious
unbelievable.
maneuver now, coming to
What
a
is he
stop,
doing?
or maybe just kind of taking a breather, but not getting out of the vehicle yet. Some of these, we'll see if these other units are going to try to take this opportunity.
Here comes
to
CHP.
come in and surround
They're gonna
him.
box him
And let's
in,
see
yeah.
here.
There we go.
Wow, look at this. He left
Well
himself
done.
open to getting surrounded,
This is
and I think he is
LA
boxed in now.
County,
He just wanted
We'll
to
see
be
if we're
hidden.
able to get to
Chevy.
the other
Is he
side
still in
here.
the car?
He just
Oh,
wanted to
whoa, up on the sidewalk. Oh, give me a
About
break.
to put the top
up.
And look at this now. He was trying to put the top up. He was trying to put the top up, and he didn't complete the operation. And now
Yep,
that is
that's
stuck
exactly
in the up
what
mode,
he's doing.
and that is
How did he
really,
get
really
away?
bad for that system. We thought that they had him boxed in, but he
Same.
found a little bit of an opening there. and got pretty spooked. Now he's at a
Rapper, am
stop.
I right?
think he really
Was
wants
it
to get that top
Orange
up
County
if he's able
and
to,
went into LA
yeah,
County?
or at least
Is
put
that
that
right?
down because that's a very
Or is it the
expensive
other
system
way
of the
around?
brakes, and it was giving him a ton of drag.
There's
Torrance
Torrance.
PD now coming in, trying to take the opportunity to
Oh, my God.
Goodness gracious.
Oh, wow.
getting wild.
And Sepulveda and Hawthorne, look at that, was extremely close. The suspect could have gotten T-boned right there,
Now
and
what's he
that
doing?
would have been
Turning
game over
around,
for
did a
sure.
U-turn.
So now the taunting continuing here, that was by far the biggest gamble that this
Lots of
suspect has
traffic.
taken right there. And, I mean, yeah, he stopped at this light now. Well, oh, no, are you kidding me? Oh, no.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, why? To this beautiful car. No, I can't believe the
Look at the
suspect did
tires.
that.
Look at that, he's still
off
trying.
the tree
Oh,
and
no.
into the...
Hands
yeah,
up.
Yeah, and was
Oh,
burning
too late
rubber
now,
right there,
buddy.
and now it's over. I mean, it really makes you wonder if this was that suspect's car. I just can't imagine that anyone would do that to their
Crazy.
vehicle over, a potential just to evade a speeding ticket. Be really curious what else is going on here. So sad for that car. And look at these people here that are speeding now. They need to get out of harm's way.
Must be
Yeah, we've got
terrified, poor
we've got a family here
My
in an
goodness.
SUV that was
Get 'em out of the way,
unfortunately
yeah.
involved, but they
Poor
were in a really big
innocent
SUV. I'm sure they're really spooked, but they should be okay. I don't think they suffered any severe
Yeah, the officer's
crash
telling
damage
them to
there.
move
Here
behind
you-
them.
Yeah.
Yeah, to get out of the way.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing. We have a lot of people now that are in harm's way. We don't know if this suspect is armed and dangerous or what the deal is, but at least their hands are up. And it seems like after doing all this damage to this gorgeous Stingray, the suspect has decided that they've had enough.
And between that light pole and the tree, there was nowhere else for him to go.
Sure. I mean, they were just trying to go through that little space to get away.
Yep.
I mean, that was the effort there. And you can only imagine how scared that
Wild.
family in that car must have been, just suddenly sideswiped and crashed into by this car out of nowhere. And then CHP units, I'm sure they're screaming at him right now to put
Three
his hands up
officers
and
over
get out
here
of
to
there.
the
But
right.
my goodness.
You can imagine how car enthusiasts watching this are reacting just like Desmond did. I mean, this is such an expensive car, beautiful car. Earlier, when I saw him get boxed in, I'm thinking he needs to be weighing risk and reward. Is it worth risking my beautiful car? And it looks like Mikey didn't care.
He didn't care, and there's got to be something else going on here. I mean, look, he got really desperate to get
like
away.
three
Once they put him in
officers
that
right
Chevron, that is what changed the game here. Is he really was desperate to get out of there. I don't know how close he got. Right side of your screen is the crash here. He goes up on the curb, guns it, takes out a tree.
The tires keep
and
going,
the
too.
tree's there. I don't know how he didn't see the tree, or if he just thought he could plow through it, or what was going on through his head there. But
Desperation,
he was very desperate, and making that U-turn was his fatal mistake because he made that U-turn and then he got himself stuck in traffic. And Torrance PD lit him up again when they were right behind him. So I mean, this
U-turn
was such a
was his
crazy way
mistake.
to have this end. He was kind of off and on at the beginning, and then just to gun it like that, especially trying to get away from CHP there. Hands are still out. Look, you see him talking to the officers. I mean, his hands are up, but I don't know if he could easily climb out. So I don't know if he's refusing or if they're telling him to wait or what the conversation is like down there. It'd be interesting to hear.
Yeah.
But what a way to end this.
Mike, do you know if he hit the car with the family in it?
Let me look. I think he did. I think he
Yeah.
at least went right up against it.
Here we go.
That's what it
Yeah,
looked
right side of your screen.
Watch this
This is just seconds before it crashed.
Yeah, so he pulls up behind him. You'll see the Torrance PD unit light come up, and then that's when he gets freaked, or spooked rather. And then he goes up, and it looks like he hits the right rear side of that SUV. Yeah, he does
Yeah.
push it forward a little bit before he hits the tree. And I don't know if he thought he was going to be able to squeeze
Crazy.
between
I
the
seen
SUV
that
and the
little
tree.
tree.
Miscalculated.
Oh,
and he'd have been
he
better
missed
off. I
it.
don't tell him
He
how to
was
do his job,
closer.
but he would have been better off going up into the parking lot there to try to get around. Just a weird way for this to end.
You know, speaking of parking lots, going into the gas station there for just
Yeah.
a minute, you wonder what was the idea behind that,
To get away from helicopters or
Exactly,
planes, maybe,
because
out
the
of sight.
top, maybe he was trying to put the top up then. Maybe I'll go into this gas station and then I'll put
think
the
you're
top
right,
up and then they won't see my face anymore, perhaps to,
So it looks
shield
like he
his
might be
face from, of course, being the
apprehended.
top
Let's
down. I
finish
mean,
this
you can see
out.
him obviously from the chopper. And, this is what it ended up being though. I mean, the fact that he came out of that gas station, we thought the CHP had boxed him into that gas station. And then as that top was going up on the convertible, as his hands up are now, that's when he came out of that gas station and
hands
made
are
that desperate
up
move. We
now.
thought he might be waiting behind some cars before that red light turned green, but nope, decided to gun it and try to squeeze through that small space. And now here we are, coming to a crashing end. And he looks like he's having more conversations with the CHP,
Yeah, Mike.
And this is
gesturing.
Lots of hand action, but no getting
Right, and this is actually
is
Torrance
on.
PD that's now doing this.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, to me, this indicates to me he's refusing to get out, right? I mean, by now, they certainly would have told him to. He may not be able to open the door. Okay, we're reaching for the
He's
seatbelt.
reaching for
So that's
his
what he's
belt.
doing.
Yep.
Seatbelt's coming off. And hopefully he'll get out and climb out, and we can end all of this. But you would think by now, certainly he has had the
Is that
opportunity
a nice
to do
watch,
that.
Mike? Look at that.
It
the
does look
watch.
like a nice watch. You know what somebody else noticed, which you can see right here on that front left windshield? Somebody pointed out that this looks like a QR code. And a viewer texted us here at the desk and said, I wonder if this is one of those rentals where you can rent these high-end cars. We've seen that in Hollywood. We don't know if that's the case here. But that would explain why it didn't necessarily come back stolen. But it still may not be his. Who
His
knows?
registered owner, right.
Yeah, well, who knows? We'll have to sort all of that out. But somebody noticed that sticker that you see in the windshield there and thought maybe that might be the
Hopefully
case.
he
Well,
got the full
looks like he's got a fancy
coverage.
watch on too, Mike, and
Yeah.
now he's negotiating with officers about whether to get in or out of the car.
Yeah, and that's what they're just, get out. That's what they're after.
Yeah.
They want him to, get out, and eventually they'll come and do it for
All
him.
over
I don't know how
speeding.
functional the door is after the crash, but certainly Torrance is going to go in there and pull him out if he doesn't do it himself here in a minute.
Yeah, we just wonder what the conversation is down
Yeah.
there.
I'd love to be
They're saying,
a witness to that
get
conversation.
out of the car, and he's saying something about here and pointing towards and gesturing that way.
It's always interesting because you got to think, what does the guy think, what cards he has left in this? You know what I mean? The car's disabled. He can't go anywhere. He's already taken out a tree. There's cops everywhere. What else do you think is you're going to be able to get out of this. Okay, door's
he's
open.
opening the door.
He's just buying time. That's all he's doing.
Hey, Desmond, the door does open.
I mean, yeah, it is. I was just thinking, too, how, the suspect, it's like they suddenly forgot they were driving a Stingray and thought they were driving a Jeep or something, trying to go up on the sidewalk. I mean, they do not have nearly enough ground clearance to go up. You could not only damage the vehicle, you easily get a flat tire or something like that. So it was just a complete lack of logic trying to, do. In fact, you can see here, Dylan just pointed out as well, looks like some sort of fluid is leaking out there of the bottom. So, some sort of damage was done to this vehicle. And,
Is that a cell phone
if this is
yeah, he's on the phone.
Yeah.
He's on his cell phone.
And I kind of wonder if the suspect's been, streaming or something too. It's kind of an epidemic that we've had of some of these suspects getting on social media and streaming their pursuit as they, brag about running away from the cops. Have to wonder if that's what's going on here, or if they're just talking to their lawyer or what. But yeah, I mean, what else is there left to say at this point?
What is he on the phone
other
about?
Than, just to get out. CHP, Torrance PD, they don't care about whatever is coming out of your mouth right now. They just want you to come in and put these lovely handcuffs on.
And it's always different ways to buy time. Right now he's on his phone. You can see the phone's connected to a charging cable right there.
No, three other ones.
Why would they even allow him to grab the phone, Mike?
Right
that could be seen as something may not be a phone.
He's telling them to wait.
Hold
on a second. Hold on.
Yeah, it looks like he's on the phone too. It looks like he keeps talking into the phone like, I don't know, man. They just want to pull me over, and I don't want to, having that conversation with whoever he's having that conversation with. But like, it's just, I mean, why are they letting him do it?
Why they
probably are trying to use as minimal amount of force as possible. They may know something about the guy that is, if Jose joking that he's texting the desk. He may be.
Maybe he is.
There's the number, 818-221-2222. They may just want to give this guy the time that, he's not going to go anywhere. He's not necessarily a risk. Oh, here we go. Now we're going to move in. And, almost.
Get him. There we go.
And he's still on the phone still.
It looks like he's screaming. Still recording it,
Yeah.
Phone went right to the passenger
That's what I think. He was either, recording there or streaming or FaceTiming with somebody or something like that. They're just going to come and check the vehicle, I'm sure, for weapons or anything, illegal in here. But just a bizarre situation. It started, frankly, pretty docile. It got pretty crazy. And then it ended with a Corvette trying to do an off-road maneuver here on the sidewalk at Sepulveda and Hawthorne, and some kind of big one-way negotiation. And now the suspect being taken into custody. It's just very fortunate. He's extremely lucky that he didn't get T-boned back there at this very intersection when he went through.
I know, he's so nonchalant
because that was
about
an extremely close call.
Yeah, you can see him blowing out of that gas station with the top partly up, and then trying to get it up the whole time, and then
fast car.
Getting it up, and then
with over
getting
500 miles per
I mean,
hour.
not getting through. That's the space that he tried to get through.
Replay again. It looks like he hit the tree first, and then the tree got underneath the car, and then he hit the light pole there, and here we are. And he's now in custody, right?
Did they actually get him in custody, Desmond? It looks like they're still working on it.
They're still. He might be just kind of resisting a little bit here, or refusing to stand up. Yeah, they gotta help him to his feet here, but he's in cuffs and he's going to be processed. And at the very least, I mean, if this is his car, at the very least, it's going to be impounded and it has damage. And if this was a rental, like we were thinking was another possibility, then well, that's just very unfortunate for that company.
Yeah, on the right side of the screen, you've been watching highlights, if you will, from this pursuit as he got off the freeway. Most of it was on the freeways, off the 5 freeway and the 91 freeway, but then it ended up in Torrance when they
he hit
got off
the
the
tree
110
and then
freeway,
the
and
light
this
pole,
is
kind of.
where it ended up. But there were some wild moments in the city of Torrance before they put their hands up here after they crashed. But there were some wild moments where they went through an intersection, blew through one, almost crashing into many cars, actually. There were so many cars coming. And
I don't know what he
they
was
really
thinking.
sped up and drive really fast through an intersection.
Definitely,
so the CHP, that's when they
visible and
they pulled out of
with
the chase
nice
on the ground. And then the Torrance Police Department, that's when they engaged. And here we are with the Torrance Police Department now with this guy under arrest.
And as much as we'd love to say it's a code 4, Mike, it clearly isn't. There's an investigation to be had here. There's that family who was sideswiped. They're obviously scared there. That intersection is going to be closed down for a while, and everything else that needs to be sorted out before this case. Look, fire engine showed up. I'm guessing it's for
the suspect. They'll want to get him medically cleared before he can go to the hospital. And I do hear CHP now saying, let's go round up all the people that may have been hit or sideswiped by this guy when we start getting statements. So it's going to be a long night for a lot of people.
A long night for a silly joyride that ended terribly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Trail of damage. All right.
Like a five-legged dog. Yeah, that's for sure.
All right.
All right, everybody. Well, that's that. I am going to go back to the regularly scheduled programming that I was watching, which was Locale Pit, if you guys all want to know. So anyways, thanks for joining me, everybody. Thank you very much for being here, and there will be more of these, I'm sure, as it is getting warmer in summertime, like out in California and everywhere else. So there will be more of these. I hope to see you here. And I'll see, like I said earlier today, I'll see about a stream maybe tomorrow. But for sure Saturday, I'll be over on Savage Live Media with Savage Saturday night at 9 p.m., everybody. Until then, thanks for joining me. Have a good night, everybody.